As we continue to get closer and closer to the end of the season and closer to the World Cup and the transfer window, more and more rumours and bits of news are coming out from all over the place about Leeds United being linked with various players. But thus far, we've not had as solid a link from as good a source as this one, as Leeds United have not only been linked with Hidemasa Morita, but they have effectively been told that a move for Morita is agreed in principle. Now, the source for this little bit of news is A Bola, which is well, not an incredibly contagious disease in Central Africa. It is, in fact, a Portuguese news outlet that is considered one of the most reliable around in that country. There are three big sort of sports outlets in Portugal. I can't remember all of their names, but it's fine. But doing my research, I learned that that is the most reliable of those three. The hit rate is reasonably high, and they seem incredibly certain on this one. So, in this little video, I'm going to run through who Morita is, what sort of move we'd potentially be looking at, what it'd cost us, and ultimately, would this be beneficial for us? And to begin with, I'll dive into who Hidemasa Morita is. He's a 31-year-old central midfielder who is currently playing at Sporting, Sporting being one of the strongest sides in the country, obviously, alongside your Portos, your Benficas, those kind of sides. And he signed for them in 2022. 4-year deal, which expires this coming summer. He's a player that can play as a 6, as a sort of typical standard defensive midfielder, or an 8. His heat map is fantastic, it's all over the place. There is barely a patch of grass that he's not covered, and that gives him a significant level of sort of flexibility and viability in a range of different roles in a side. In addition to that, looking a little bit deeper, it's not just a case of, well, he can be a 6 and he can be an 8, but he excels in somewhere that I feel we especially need at the moment as Leeds United, being positional play, i.e., he will always find himself somewhere useful when going forward and be excellent at stopping opposing attacks when he's in a more sort of defensive position, really, really good at cutting out passing lanes. But in addition to that, his passing play itself is fantastic. He is very, very good at finding that pass that will just slice open opposing lines. If you remember how Calvin Phillips was under Marcelo Bielsa, being the sort of, will hold the ball in those deep areas and just find a pass that splits the defence wide open, and suddenly everything is significantly easier for the rest of the attack because you've not got to go through the couple of minute long period of play the ball up this wing and then backwards and then that wing, and then occasionally a defender will make a mistake and then you're in. Skip the majority of that because someone like Morita can play that pass that just sort of cracks it open quite nicely, and you can just play in that gap. That'd be absolutely spectacular. In addition to that, I had a little bit of a look at the fan comments from the Sporting end to see what their general feeling was around him, and they seem to not like the fact that he's going to be leaving, including statements such as, "May he be happy, he deserves it." Keep in mind this is translated from Portuguese into English, so it might not be word for word, but you know what I mean. And "Thank you so much for everything, Morita." Basically, a very good player, and if we're able to sign him on the right terms, it would be a very decent move for us. Again, you might look at this and think, well, he's 31 years old, and that means that he's potentially on the decline, and that could be true. But he is a player with a lot of quality, and if you can get him for a bargain, then you can get him for a bargain. And my God, would Leeds United be able to get him for a bargain? As I mentioned, signed a contract at Sporting in 2022 for 4 years. That puts him under contract until the 30th of June, at which point his contract expires and he is free to find a move somewhere else. He's been free to discuss a move since January, and you might have noticed that since January, a bit of the conversation around signing someone like Morita has gotten louder and louder and louder. And that seems to be because we have a little bit of interest, with Leeds having reportedly secured an agreement in principle with Hidemasa Morita. Now, what this means is a little bit of a question. It means it'd be significantly cheaper on the fee side, but there's a chance that it would pay more in wages. Obviously, that is always going to be the case for a free signing. Part of the reason that players allow themselves to go for free is because they know that their end of any financial package is significantly better. If a club isn't spending £15 million to sign you, that's a significant chunk of money that they're able to put directly into you rather than into your former club. How much he'd get paid, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what he's earning at the minute, but it would be, I would say not towards the top end of our wage budget. He's a very good player, but he will recognise that this is going to be his last major contract. So I'll want to get a decent wage out of it, but also recognise that he won't realistically be starting immediately. And if he is starting immediately, then something's probably gone wrong because Ampadu and Stack are genuinely fantastic, and I don't see them being hugely replaceable in the immediate term. For me, this is the perfect sort of move that we need to be doing as a club right now. A lot of people looked at the deal that we were doing last summer and they went, okay, DCL on a free, decent player, but do we need to be signing so many players on a free? I'm scared. Or they would look at Mecha, again, on a free, but they'll look at it with the approach of, is a free player necessarily great? In this instance, absolutely yes. Morita has said that he only necessarily wants to move to the Premier League because he wants to test himself at a top level, having spent a very long time over in Portugal, not really had chance to stretch his legs against some of the best players in the world. This is his opportunity to change that. For me, that shows a very, very positive mindset from the player, which is something that we really want to see as fans. We want to see someone who is constantly looking to test themselves against the best players they possibly can. If not, what's the point? If you've signed a player and they're like, honestly, I'd quite like to only play against like Grimsby week in, week out, not quite the attitude that you want from a player. In addition to that, there's been a little bit of word that the fact that we already have Autanaka in the midfield could help with that because I believe they've played together on a national level, and it always helps having someone that A, speaks the language, B, speaks your language, and C, can help to sort of bridge that cultural gap. Always absolutely ideal. You'll see various players request it in their own transfers. Are you able to sign someone that will make me a little bit more comfortable? In this case, we don't need to do that because we've already got our in place. And it also frees up funds for other areas of the pitch. Now, we know that we'll sell a decent number of players this summer. There is Harrison, who will undoubtedly find a move out again, whether that's on loan or permanently. Please be permanently this time, please. Gelhardt will probably find a permanent move somewhere. Piru, I expect, will probably go out as well. There's a little bit of discussion surrounding Sebastian Bornau recently, with FC Köln having a little bit of an interest, which I might cover in a video very, very shortly. It depends how I'm feeling. All of that will bring in money, but that money needs to go into the most vital positions. And whilst it would be good to have a midfielder that is creative like Morita is, whilst having the defensive side of his game, that's not the biggest priority position. And for me, if we're able to sign someone with the quality of Morita, save money for those premium positions and properly invest in them, like we attempted to do with Strand Larsen, then we'll absolutely be in a fantastic position for the season to come. If this is a move that we do get done, and again, this is coming from A Bola, it's not a 100% on, but this is a very, very good source that's saying it's likely to happen. I would be very, very happy with it. I imagine we won't get anything confirmed until probably the 1st of July, just because that's the case of the PSR window ticking over, and that's where all of the funds are best to be sort of popped in various places. But yeah, if we can get this done, wonderful. Very excited for it. But as always, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe as well, that'd be wonderful. It could even be a channel member. You get all sorts of videos, including this one, nice and early. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later. Also, if you haven't yet, please go and watch that DAZN 48 YouTube short that I did and like it and leave a comment and all that kind of stuff. Just because it'd be a really cool opportunity and it'd just be nice to do, and I kind of need your guys' help. Thank you. Anyway, toodaloo.